What's going on, guys? Mike here, the Detroit Borg, with a look at the LG Watch Urbane. This is kind of a high-end Android Wear device. Right now, it's the most expensive Android Wear watch available. It's actually the same price as the entry-level Apple Watch Sport at $349, but it's more of a Apple Watch style design with a stainless steel body. Now, in many ways, it's very similar to the specs of the LG Watch R, the round watch which I reviewed last year. So in terms of specs, we have the same 1.3-inch POLED display, resolution of 320 by 320, good for 245 pixels per inch. This OLED display means we have those deep inky blacks, bright vivid colors, great off-axis viewing, and the battery efficiency of OLED, which means it only needs to light the pixels that it's showing instead of backlighting the entire panel. This also makes the watch face look a little more authentic because we have those deep blacks instead of the backlight bleed from LCD. Now, this is powered by a 1.2 gigahertz processor. We have a 410 milliamp hour battery. This also integrates Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.0 LE. We also have 512 megs of RAM and 4 gigs of storage. So again, the specs are pretty much identical to the LG G Watch R. We also have a voice microphone, and we do have an IP67 certification rating, so this is water resistant. Also included on the back is a heart rate monitor, and the display is Corning Gorilla Glass 3 instead of the plastic display on the LG G Watch R. Alright, so let's get to the unboxing of the LG Watch Urbane. Pretty simple packaging here, LG branding along the side. We have some labels to cut, some specs, and that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and slice the labels here. Alright, so let's go ahead and lift the lid, and it is pretty tight on here. Let's go and pop it off. There we go. Very nice presentation with that brown packaging. This is the stainless steel. There is a gold variant as well, or rose gold. Let's go ahead and pull this out here. So you can see the leather strap on the back with the white stitching. Looks kind of sharp. Let's pull it out here. So there we go, looks very sharp right away. I really like that polished stainless steel look. Now we have little pieces of plastic covering the metal here to protect it during shipping, so let's go ahead and peel that off. Next thing I want to do here is open up the buckle so I can remove the label behind the watch. Now before I take a close look at the watch, let's take a look at the accessories here. So we have 3 packages. One of them contains a USB wall adapter, so let's pop that out here. Pretty standard stuff, should be LG branded, pretty much the same ones that come with LG phones. Of course, no rapid charging here. Inside the second box, we'll find the standard micro USB charging cable, which works with the included charging dock, which is magnetic, so it magnetically adheres to the back of the watch, just like the LG G Watch R. It has the same design, same size, and the same electrical connections along the side here, so basically it just snaps into place and charges your watch. Now, the only difference between the LG G Watch R cradle and the one with the Urbane is the LG branding on the Urbane, but otherwise it's the same design, the same plastic design with a rubber foot on the bottom that grips to a table. And last but not least, we have some literature in here. So if we open this up, we'll find a little literature packet which explores the basic startup procedure, connecting this to your Android device, and that sort of thing. Now, the first thing we need to do is boot up our watch for the first time. Just tap and hold the crown along the right side. And we can see right away those deep inky blacks from the OLED display looks really sharp. So once again, this is powered by Android Wear, and the latest version of Android Wear, which does bring some new features, which we'll explore in this video. So let's get the setup process started here. I'm going to select my language, and it wants me to connect to the charger before I proceed. Now, the first order of business is to make sure I have the Android Wear app installed on my Android device. In this case, a big old Nexus 6. So, of course, I have that installed. So, currently, I have my LG G Watch R connected, and what I want to do is pair to a new watch. So, right away, it sees the LG Urbane 2849, so let's go and select that. So, now it's asking for permission to pair, so I'm going to click that, and we're good. So, that's all there is to it. So, the next order of business is to sync everything from my Android device to my watch. Taking a close look at the hardware, once again we have this nice stainless steel body which has been polished to a mirror finish. You can see there's a little sort of a brush detail that surrounds the 1.3-inch diameter OLED display, which adds a little more jewelry. You can also see that nice sort of beveled edge around the glass. It just looks quite a bit better than the LG G Watch R. Now, along the right side you have your crown, which acts as a home button. It's a bit larger than the one on the LG G Watch R, and it looks a little more detailed. Now, at the bottom of the watch, you'll find a set of dual microphones instead of the single microphone that's on the LG G Watch R. Now, the back of the watch is still plastic here, although we have this nice hairline grain, which looks a little bit better, but you can feel that this is plastic. And of course, you can also see the shell of the body that surrounds it. Now, toward the center, we'll find our heart rate monitor, which looks pretty much the same as the one on the LG G Watch R. We also have our electrical connections for charging the watch with the cradle. Now, the included watch band is genuine leather. Of course, this can be easily replaced because this is pretty much a standard watch band design. So all I have to do is pop out the pin and replace this with whatever watch band you want. You can even use a metal link brace it if you prefer. Now the band they've included here is a fairly stiff leather, so it does require some break-in time. So generally speaking, I don't really like this watch band right now, but over time it should break in and feel a little softer. So let's take a look at the updated version of Android Wear that launches with the Urbane. So you can see that we have our display currently in ambient display mode, so showing us the clock and our most recent notification. So we can tap on the screen to wake it up. We can also just flick our wrist, or we can tap the crown along the side to wake it up. We can also just put it back to sleep just by covering the display with our hand. Now for the most part, the interface is pretty familiar. So you swipe up to see all your recent notifications. So we can act upon these or dismiss them by swiping left to dismiss or swiping right to either open them on our phone, block the app, or other actions that are dependent on the app. So for example, if we swipe down to our Google Now cards, which include our weather, we can swipe to the right to see our weekly forecast, open the weather.com app, or we can just swipe to close it out. Now from the watch face, we can swipe down to manage our notifications, so we can select Do Not Disturb, Priority Mode, or allow all apps or notifications to come through. This also shows us our battery status here, so if you swipe down again, you'll see your battery status. And I can also swipe right to enter theater mode. So this will turn off the display until you press the button along the side to wake it up again. We also have brightness boost, which will set the display to maximum brightness so you can see this outdoors. And if we swipe all the way to the right, this will get to our settings panel. So this allows us to adjust brightness. Now you can see we have a maximum brightness of 6. There is no auto mode here because there is no ambient light sensor. Now if you want to get back, just swipe to the right. You can also change your watch face from here, but there's an easier way to do that. We can change our font size. So if we select this, you can change it from small to normal to large. We also have a new feature here called wrist gestures. So this allows us to flick through our notifications just by flicking our wrist. So we can flick up or flick down to scroll through our notifications, which is very nice. That means we don't have to touch our watch at all. I really like that. Also new here is Wi-Fi settings. This allows us to connect our watch directly to Wi-Fi, so it's not completely dependent on the Bluetooth connection to your phone. So that means some apps can actually pull information from the internet as opposed to pulling it from your phone. Now the process for setting this up is very simple. It just asks you to enter in your wireless network password on your phone. We also can manage our Bluetooth connected devices so we can see which devices are available. We also have always on screen. So if you want to turn this off, you can. So that will save some battery life. That also means you will not see a persistent clock on your watch face. We also have airplane mode, some accessibility features. We have screen lock on or off. So if you want to lock your watch when the watch isn't on you, you can enable this feature. We also have factory reset, restart, power off, and about this device so you can see which version of the software you're running. And perform system updates if they're available. Now from the watch face, you can swipe right to get to your app. So we finally have an easy access app launcher on Android Wear. You can swipe again to get to your favorite contacts, swipe right again to get to Google Now. Now if you tap and hold the crown along the side, this will bring you right to the app launcher. We also have a new feature within messaging that allows us to draw emojis to search for them. So instead of searching through the available emojis, all you have to do is draw it on the screen, it searches the database for that shape and brings them up. And it's pretty quick and pretty accurate. Now if you wake up the watch face, you can say, "Okay Google, what's the weather like tomorrow in Rochester Hills, Michigan?" Now taking a look at the watch faces, LG has thrown in some nice ones. So all the ones you've used before will appear on the left, and then you'll see all the others on the right. Now you can see quite a few classic styles here to pick from. We have a gold themed one that goes with a gold themed watch. I think those look actually pretty nice here, so let's bring those forward. Let's hide that again. There you go. Which I think looks really sharp here, especially on that OLED display. Again, let's tap and hold on that to go through a few others here. So we have some classic Android Wear watch faces right here. So some of them are pretty familiar. And then we have the moon face, which is kind of a neat watch face, photos, and quite a few others here. So I'm not going to go through them all, but you can see pretty tasteful designs for the shape of this watch. Now for me, this watch is kind of large, so if you like large watches, this is probably the one you want to take a look at. It's much larger than the Apple Watch, 42mm. It's larger than the LG G Watch, and certainly much larger than the Moto 360. So if you like larger, chunkier watches that are a bit thicker and a bit bolder, you're probably going to like the Urbane. But for my wrist, which I consider to be about medium size, it feels a little too large, although I can definitely get used to it. So in the end, the Urbane is probably the best looking Android Wear smartwatch you can get right now. You certainly paid for it at $349. It's a lot more expensive than any of the other options right now. So if you want a watch that looks more like traditional jewelry, that really stands out, and runs Android Wear on a beautiful display, this is definitely going to be the one for you. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again in the next one.